So talk to me first of all, you're a businessman, never been in politics. What made you decide to run for Columbia County Chair?
Well, I'm getting close to retirement age, and I just felt like I felt compelled to do something to help my county. And what I'm looking to do is be the next county commission chairman. I don't want a salary. They can give my salary to the Columbia County Cares and some of the other charity groups. I love Columbia County. Columbia County is very important to me. My kids live here. My grandchildren are here. All my family's here. So, well, I got a lot of family all over, but the bulk of them are here. But I just feel compelled, and it's my duty to help my county.
Now, you've helped them, of course, with your business, building homes and such. But I know that you also do a lot of philanthropy. I can't get it out. You do a lot for the community, especially like safe homes, and being on the board. I say thank you for that. That says something about your character, I assume.
Well, my wife and I do that. We just feel compelled to do it. We've been very blessed, and when we give it, we don't go around and talk about it and brag about it and tell people, hey, look what we've done. We just do it, and they know we did it, we know we did it, and God knows we did it.
All right, so let's talk about growth, because that's huge right now in Columbia County. Columbia County is one of the fastest growing counties in the state of Georgia. Some feel it's growing a little too fast. How would you plan on managing that growth?
Right now we're fixing to have a huge growth spurt coming in with the Cyber Command and all the satellite businesses from it. There's going to be literally thousands of people. We haven't planned for that. We need the infrastructure in place. Right now we need to release, need to release the brakes, so to speak. And when I say that, that could be reduce some of the ordinances to where these things can get done quicker on roads, water, sewer. Streets that go into neighborhoods. There needs to be some relaxation on that to where we can get ready to accommodate all these people.
Now, a lot of the rural communities in Columbia County, they kind of feel like they're getting ignored. I know Appling, Harlem, there's a lot of areas where roads aren't paved, things aren't getting done, but yet it all seems to be happening in Martinez and Evans. What do you say to those people? How can you be the voice for those people to make sure that they're being heard too?
Well, I feel like there's two Columbia counties. There's Martinez and Evans, there's Grovetown, Harlem, Appling, Leah, and the rest. And I do feel like they're getting left out. The roads, it's been promised to be paved for years, still haven't been paved. A lot of things like that. There needs to be water lines, trunk line, or sewer trunk lines run out into these areas, because that's where the growth is going to go. That's the biggest land mass. So everybody needs to realize that growth is coming, and growth follows the water and sewer lines.
Now the people in Appling, they're like, we don't want growth. Is there something you could say to ease their minds, maybe controlled growth or something like that?
I really don't know the answer for that for them, because the growth is coming, whether they like it or not. That's where the people are going to be moving out to. If they could control the growth and maybe do it with 1.5 to 3.5 acre home sites, that may help it. But the difference between the acreage home sites and the city of Grovetown, for example, you got a much smaller land mass in Grovetown, so therefore the lots have to be smaller. But up in the Appling area, Harlem, Leah, you have a lot more land and property that you can work from, so therefore you could make bigger home sites.
Yeah, there was a neighborhood that recently was proposed, and it got withdrawn because they wanted to, because of the land space, basically, and it was, it was basically coming into the backyards of other homes that have been established, and it seems like a lot of businesses, starting a business, a lot of homes are being developed fast. Throw them up, pack them in as fast as you can. Do you think that's something that Columbia County needs? I mean, what kind of value is that?
Actually, I really don't know. I'm not familiar with the development that you're talking about, but a lot of times when people build a home and it backs up to the woods, they're told, oh, well, nothing's going to ever be there. Well, you know, there's always going to be something there. Somebody that owns that land, it's the right time for them to sell it, and whoever buys it may want to develop it. So I don't really know the right answer for that.
Okay. Let's see. What are some of the things that you think Columbia County needs to work on?
Columbia County needs to work on the having crystal clear colors over their government. There doesn't need to be any camouflage in it. The people needs to be able to see what's there, what's available. Columbia County needs to understand that the citizens are the boss, and I am 100% for the citizens. It's kind of like the tail wagging the dog right now with the county. They tell the citizens what they want versus the citizens telling the county what they want. So clear colors, being able to get to information that they need, even the Freedom of Information Act. You know, you got to just about go through an act of Congress to get something that you want to look at, and as a citizen, you need to be entitled to it.
You mentioned citizens playing a big role in government, and you've mentioned advisory boards, bringing some of those back, because I know some of them were they stopped at one point.
They did, and I understand there's like 23 advisory boards, but I haven't seen them. But advisory boards are extremely important for the fact that lets the citizens have a voice in the government. In Columbia County, we have a huge pool of people that have got unbelievable backgrounds, different trade organizations that we can tap into free. It won't cost the county one brown penny to do it. And these people can analyze stuff, kind of like all the financial statements that I've been going through. You know, there's industry experts on finance that have already agreed to sit on a finance board for me if I'm fortunate enough to get in there, and they can go through and scrutinize all the financial statements on a monthly basis and advise the commissioners of what all these things really mean rather than just rubber stamping it.
Do you think that there's a little too much on top as far as the government? Oh,
there's always too much on top. It can be it could be rearranged.
Okay, and what do you mean by that?
Well, I don't think you need 3 administrators. I can, you know, you definitely have to have 1, and you possibly have to have a deputy administrator, but I don't think you need 3. I think that person could be moved to another position.
Okay, and I guess that goes into spending costs. Do you see any wasteful spending going on in Columbia County that you would want to change if you become chair?
I see a lot of wasteful spending. I see how they can rearrange money. You know, one big pet peeve that I have is the county being in the entertainment business. I don't think the county needs to be in the entertainment business. I think it is perfectly fine for them to lease the venue to a promoter and let the promoter be in the entertainment business. I don't think the county needs to be buying up all the real estate that they're buying up, because when it goes from a private individual to the county, there's no property taxes paid on it, there's no school taxes paid, so really both of those groups lose out, plus a private investor or an investment group is actually losing on it also. But there is a lot of waste. There's a lot of waste in equipment, vehicles, and there's so many things that could be rearranged, and I'm going to throw this in at you. We have a food pantry in Columbia County called Columbia County Cares. Mm-hmm. They operate on around $70,000 a year. Well, you really can't do a whole lot when you're feeding over 4,000 homeless people. It's just about impossible. You know, there's enough waste in our government to where we could fund that department for 2 or 3 times that and take care of those people. These are people that are just getting, you know, lost through the cracks. Nobody even knows they exist. And for everybody to think Columbia County is so affluent, it's they need to really look around. Drive out to the food pantry and just look.
That's interesting that you say that, because I've done stories with the school system on the homeless students and the amount of homeless students in Columbia County. And the perception is they're homeless. You know, there's not really there's not a lot compared to Richmond County, but they do exist.
They do, and homeless doesn't mean you're living under a bridge. It means you don't actually have a home. You may be sleeping in a friend's bedroom or basement or garage or living room, or living somewhere on a temporary basis. There's a lot of people that sleep in their cars on the dirt roads out in the county, and you know, to me that's just unacceptable. We need to do something to look after these people.
All right, and you know, you're new to the game.
Brand new.
So, you know, do you have any, would you become chair, how do you plan on handling that? What's your next step? Because there's going to be a lot that you're going to have to learn and take on. And
well, I don't think one person can do it all. I think you have to have a good team in place to do that, and I'm sure we're going to have that. I've spoke with quite a few people. I've asked for a job description several times to see exactly what the duties are. It's definitely not a full-time position, but I would think the first 6 months to go in and get a grasp on everything, it's probably a 20-25 hour a week job.
And you know, you're saying that you're almost, you know, basically retired. Pam Tucker, she's retired. Doug Duncan, he stays pretty busy. Do you think that the chair should be a full-time position or a part-time position?
I think it should be a part-time position, and let me clarify that. I work a full-time business. I still work 60, 70 hours a week. I'm just trying to get to the point where I can slowly get to almost like a semi-retirement type deal, to where I can be off 3 days a week and work 4, but that's what I call retirement.
Sure, gotcha. I can understand that. You know, when Chairman Cross, when he's gone, you know, before he left, he set term limits. Do you believe in term limits for chair?
I do. I think when somebody sits in a position too long, they get very comfortable with it and they feel entitled. I think we need to have, I'm for doing it one term. I think if you can have people in there and have a good group of the citizens wanting to run for that position and keep new blood in it all the time, I'm all for that. So if the county wanted to vote to do it one term, I got no problem with that. I don't think it needs to be, this is my territory and nobody else is going to get in it.
And someone said about you that you're not afraid to say, I don't know, but I'll find out.
That is true. That is true.
And that some of the other elected officials don't do that. Do you think that sets you apart from others, or?
Well, I think that's one of the things that could set me apart. I'm going to always give you an honest answer. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'll just tell you how the answer is. If I don't know the answer, I'm going to tell you I don't know, but I will find out and get back to you on it. All
right. Now, last but certainly not least, we're talking about transparency earlier. And this press release was sent out last night. And, you know, these are some serious questions regarding possible misappropriation of Columbia County SPLOST dollars, GO bond funds. You know, it's not specific. It's just questions. Is that how I understand it?
It is. It's just strictly questions. I'm not accusing anybody of anything. But when I got started on this quest last August, I wanted to know all about the financials. I wanted to know what I was going to be stepping into, what I'd be doing. And we've been getting open records requests, and sometimes it's like pulling teeth to get them. There's no doubt of that. And we got a lot of stuff, and then nothing really matched up. We had to get more paperwork to verify what we had. And there's a lot of questions over, you know, the SPLOST and the GEO bonds are very specific of what you can pay and what you can't pay. And you know, when you're paying somebody, you're paying individuals out of it, or you're paying office supplies or lawn maintenance, any of these type things aren't allowed through the SPLOST, but the check register shows that there are things that's been paid. And you know, being a good steward of my money, I'm going to be an even better steward of the county's money. I want to know why this has happened. And I had several questions about that. And I figured this was the best way to draw the most attention to it, to where the general public can start asking the same questions I am as a citizen.
Now you bring up maintenance, paid employees. Is there any specific documentation that you may have that could lead you to believe that that's what's happening?
I do have all this documentation here that shows those things. That's why I'm asking these questions.
Okay. All right, because I plan on taking these questions to the county, so I want to make sure that you have something that you can show me.
I do.
That I can take them to them.
We do.
All right, and we can get video of that and talk about that. I don't want to put specific people, out on the blast for that. Is there anything that I didn't touch on that you would like to say or add?
Sure. I'm not your typical candidate. I don't fit the politically correct mode. I'm a concerned citizen that's wanting to do something about the issues that I see. I love Columbia County. I love the people that are in the county. I want to see Columbia County grow and prosper. I want to see it do everything that it needs to do. And I'm against the county having these pre-commission meetings deciding the fate of issues before it gets out to the commission meeting. It needs to be brought out into the public. No more camouflage. We need all clear. And that's what I intend to do.
All right. Philanthropy. I got it out. I started on that earlier. All right.
Well, there's different kinds of philanthropists.
Yeah.
There's the ones that do it standing there with a big check, hey, look at me, what I'm doing, and there's the ones that just slide it to them and move on. You need to decide which one you think I am.